Hi everybody, my name is Max and I'm part of the Muffin project. The Muffin project basically stands for Montreal Urban Furniture, Feelings, Ideas and Narratives. And today we're going to take you for a little walk in Montreal City, just to introduce you to some of Montreal's urban furniture that you maybe haven't noticed but you've been using all your life. A big part of Montreal's appeal can be attributed to the wide range of urban furniture found everywhere in the city, from benches to bike stands, and from the permanent to the temporary art installations found everywhere that interact with people. Street furniture is basically a collective term to describe objects and equipment placed in the public streets for the people to use. It could be anything from traffic lights, stop signs, bus stops, public phones, mailboxes, anything basically. All these objects are in constant dialogue with the public. They facilitate the relationship between the person and the city and communicate ideas and aesthetic values. Urban furniture informs us, provides us with recreational objects. It entertains us, promotes outdoor activities, facilitates our movement and communication throughout the city. It also brings art in the streets. Street furniture tells the story of the city. For example, here on Sainte-Hélène Street, these gas lamps remind us of the time where they replaced kerosene lamps. Official postal services began by the end of the 18th century under the British government. Today, these mailboxes, inspired by the models of the British, remind us of a time where people could only communicate through paper and these mailboxes. But these mailboxes do not have the same significance in today's age of electronic media and mobile communication. The Muffin project will mainly be focusing on 3 of Montreal's urban furniture objects: Place Pasteur, Bixi stations, and the Big O.
Hi, I'm Amanda and I'm here at UQAM University in Place Pasteur. As you can see, I am at the ephemeral art chair installation. It's designed by students who are in their final year of design. The concept is to create a work of art that is recreational, interactive, and urban. And every year in the fall, there's new students who create new art installations. And an interesting fact, last year the chairs were red for the student protest. This year's installation was designed by 2 students, Jonathan Neschi and Serena Tahakian. It's an interactive and social learning experience because you have the chairs and you can talk to your fellow classmates and you can learn things from your classmates. So what you have to do is take a picture with your mobile device and it will give you a link to a website. I like the notion that this art installation provides a chance for everyone to learn something new, not just within the borders of the classroom. And the best part is it doesn't just stay at the university, it could reach out to the local community. I like that, it resonates as a meaningful learning experience and you can socialize. So I'm here with Lindsay, who is a Concordia University student. Lindsay, what do you think about this art installation here at Place Pasteur?
I think it's really cool. It's always neat seeing outdoor art installations where the artist isn't present but people can kind of be around it. And
did you know that last year the chairs were red for the strike?
I guess this square right here is right around the corner from Place Amélie Gamelin, where a lot of marches and protests started. People met there, and it's the central part of Montreal.
Do you think that Place Pasteur is a great place to have an art installation like this?
Yeah, there's a lot of people around, but it's still kind of a quieter spot. It's a busy space, but it's a quieter space of a really big community, like having the university here and having so much going on in the area. It can still surprise you. You can walk by, and I'm sure everyone's been to Barrie UQAM station, but have you been just upstairs to this park here?
Hello, I'm Annie. I am standing on the corner of Park and Montreal in front of this Bixi bike station, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Bixi bikes and how they are a part of the urban landscape in Montreal. I'm a dedicated biker myself, and I find biking is a very economical form of travel, and that's what these Bixi bike stations are really great for. Montreal is very progressive in its alternative transportation. These Bixi bike stations have been up and running since 2009. They are designed by the internationally renowned industrial designer Michel Dallaire and his team. There's over 400 of these stations, solar powered, around the city in Montreal. Biking is a huge part of Montreal culture. With over 350 kilometers of bike paths throughout the city, Montrealers have an unprecedented amount of freedom. The street artist Roadsworth had an impact on inspiring the city to create the vast amount of bike paths that they have now. For locals, it is an enjoyable way to get around, and for tourists, it is the perfect way to see the city and experience the urban life in Montreal. So how do you feel about Bixi bike stations being a part of your urban landscape, everyday urban environment?
Well, visually it's not that great, but I can see that it's really great for tourists. As a person who lives in Montreal, I don't use them often because I can buy bikes.
So do you bike around the city often then? Do you own a bike?
Yeah, I bike a lot around the city. And there's been a few times that I wanted to use the Bixis, and I was disappointed to find out that I have to use a Visa card to use a Bixi.
So do you bike in Montreal, or how do you get around?
Yeah, I bike all the time.
Okay, so how do you find the bike paths in Montreal?
A little bit choppy, so they don't necessarily connect you very well from like neighborhood to neighborhood. Sometimes they don't feel that safe with the cars, but they're definitely better than they used to be.
Yeah, and there's a lot more as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So do you ever take a Bixi bike?
Very rarely.
Okay, but do you find it's a good concept?
I think it's a great concept.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that use it, and when friends come to town,
Yeah,
we always get them Bixi. So
cool. Thank you very much.
Today we've taken you to the east end of Montreal, to the famous Olympic Stadium built in 1976, and we'll be taking you around for a little walk to the famous Big O. This 50-foot long, 8-foot high concrete pipe was originally built as a passageway for the pedestrians of the 1976 Olympians. So unfortunately we can't really get a close view of this place because it's under construction right now. Bonjour. Ben, on fait juste un petit documentaire sur... So now we're standing here at an even greater distance because we were just told by security to stay away from the perimeter. Now we gotta stay at least 100 feet away. So I'll be telling you the story of how this became really famous and how it also had a different ending to the story. Today we're meeting with Barry Walsh, legendary pro skater of Montreal.
It was built as a tribute to the native culture in sport of the Olympics. It's a big cement whistle. And when the torchbearer came running to Montreal, they ran it through the tunnel. Mainly because it's one of the last natural skatable structures in Montreal, let alone North America, that's actually been preserved for the sake of skateboarding, even though it wasn't initially designed for skateboarding. I'd say around 2010, the idea started coming up about them building a soccer stadium, and 99% of the people were sure it would get destroyed, because when does, the system ever cater to skateboarding? But in this case, because my friend Mark Tisson and we had written a book about the spot called Pipe Fiends, and it's basically a documentary of 30 years history of the skate spot. So when we got that book to Joey Saputo, he actually took the time to absorb and read the book, and he felt that it would have been a shame to destroy it because it was already such a part of Montreal's heritage and skateboarding culture. First thing we're gonna do is give it a fresh new paint job, and we'll probably have a ceremonial inauguration, and then we'll have a big celebration that we will send invites around the world.
Did you find it was a fun project?
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
God, I can't do this.
No, but it's fun to just share with the rest of the classroom, like what we've learned about the city and those little secrets that we didn't know about, but
Yeah, it's
they're pretty
true.
interesting.
And even after living in Montreal for so long, you can still discover new little gems throughout the city.
It's true. Like places you didn't know about, and now like you understand them better. You know where they are in the city if you want to go again.
The history about them.
Yeah.
They're pretty cool. Muffin?
Thanks. It's considered a muffin
The muffin.
to celebrate
The break bread.
the end of the project. Oh, it was great, but we had to change the concept a little bit because, well, the original idea was to interview the people interacting with furniture, but because it was so freezing cold, and there was no one to interview, so we kind of decided to change it a little bit and just invite people to our little film who could like share their experience and thoughts about the subjects. And I think it went well.
Yep. Overall, it's pretty fun.